Good everyone. Got a message recently from somebody. His name was Glenn from Zeppelin Design Labs, and he's got a few kits on his site. And I think from memory, I looked early this week. I think it's a couple of little small guitar amp kits, but he also has a guitar pedal kit, and he offered to send me one of those to check it out. And you know, it's a matter of time whether I'm going to have time to build it and do these sorts of videos and stuff on it. And sometimes I say yes, sometimes I say no, depending on how busy I am. I'm actually very busy at the moment, but I still said yes because I was curious to actually see this particular kit. It looks very good, and yeah, I actually want to see what it was like. So he sent one in, and I've got it here in front of me in my hand, which is here. I really like the branding. So what's it called? Quaverato. That's the way I read it. Maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong. Quaverato Harmonic Tremolo. Look at all the controls on the front. Very versatile tremolo, and I'm quite excited to put it together because I want to actually show you what's inside the pack. But before we do, we'll talk about a couple of other things first. So the first one is the build doc. Probably one of the most thorough build docs I think I've ever seen. It's actually got step by step where to put each component, what each component looks like, every resistor that comes with the kit, with the colors on the resistor. Is very thorough. So you see the build doc, and like for me, I probably don't need most of the information in the build doc. You know, I can put it together myself. But if I do need information, it's there. So more information is not all, you know, like it wouldn't be a matter of it's too much information, because at the end of the day, you just pick and choose what information you want. I think perhaps, and I've never built an amp before from a kit, but I've seen a few of the project files. I think maybe it sort of stems from that, because those are really in depth, and you can't stuff up in a amp. Well, you know, you can't do it. You're not going to want to do a major stuff up in an amp kit, because obviously, you know, you can have sort of catastrophic consequences. So maybe that's where it stems from. But either way, it is very in depth, so you can see exactly what you need to do. Go and have a look at the build doc. You'll see what I'm talking about. I think it's about 60 pages long or something from memory. Again, you might not need all that information, but if you do, it's there. So if you're, you know, I probably wouldn't say like fresh to guitar pedals, because even though it's very thorough, the build doc, the build is sort of, it's not complicated, but there's a lot of soldering. So you want to at least have some sort of basic soldering skills. That's where I'd put the skill level. For this pedal, you know, a bit of experience with pedals, perhaps. You know, Glenn might disagree with me on that. Just my own personal opinion. I'd probably say to have a few under your belt before you attempt it. If you want a complicated tremolo, but you're still sort of a little green, then this is a good choice for you. And the price I thought was very good as well. For something that comes with so much stuff, and has taken. It looks like a product that's been well engineered, and to get this product for what it costs, I think is pretty good. This is my pedal store hat going on at the moment. You know, when I see something like this, I sort of think to myself, what work and energy has gone into this kit? You know, like how much energy has been put into it, and what would you expect to charge for it? And I think a lot of time and energy has gone into it. So for 89 US, so I always think in Australian dollars, obviously, because that's local. So you're looking about 120 Australian. I think it's a pretty good price, and you'll see what I mean when we actually get into looking at the actual kit. What is, you know, what's included and what you actually get for that. So I think that's the majority of what I wanted to talk about with the actual kit. Let's have a look at what you know, the details around the kit. Let's have a look at the actual kit now. So this is what's inside the kit. Forgot to mention too, I'm not going to actually assemble it in this video. It's going to take too long, and it's actually pretty pointless because, like I said, the build doc is so thorough you're not going to need me sitting here showing you how to solder this here and that there. I'm going to put it together, keep some notes, and then let you know what things you should look out for. Anything that I encountered that was tricky that you might need to know, just for informational purposes more than anything, and just things like that, and obviously a sound demo as well, because everyone will be itching to hear it. So as you can see, really cool branding. I really like his style with his branding. There's a sticker, Zeppelin Design Labs, a very well engineered product too, like I mentioned before. I think it is. So we have a sticker, it's a thick plastic sticker. This is the sort of stuff. It's funny. When I did work experience in many years ago, I went to a company that did a silk screening company, and they also made things that look like this for, I think it was for car panels, something to do with cars or truck panels. They had this sort of sticker on a truck, on the not panels, what are they called? Like dashboard sort of stuff. And they used to have these sorts of stickers. That's what it reminds me of. I don't know what this sort of sticker is called, but yeah, it's a 3M sticker, and he's had them printed up, which is a really cool idea, because you don't have to worry about, if you want to do your own graphics, you can, but I mean, there's not really a lot of room to do your own graphics anyway, so you'd probably be better off just using something like this. And as you can see, those holes line up perfectly. I have to look, once I actually put it together, I'll punch out the holes and see what's going on, because that could take a while. Let me have a look. Tell you what, let me do that now, because I'm just curious to see how well this whole thing lines up. This is what I mean by well engineered, as you probably can see now. What I'm talking about. The kit goes together very well. So how does that actually line up? Perfectly. What else would you expect? Look at that, spot on. So that's going to be the front, obviously, and your dials and things will pop through the front, which you probably should know. So the enclosure is actually reminiscent. Well, here's the PCB as well. Quite a large PCB. Looks like a pretty good quality one too. Yeah. So when you, like I was saying before, when you take cost into account, you got to account for all these things that are included. And a big PCB like that, I mean, alone would probably cost you about $15, I reckon. For usually the complexity of the circuit and the size of the PCB determine the cost. So this is a complex circuit and it's a large PCB. So if you were just going to buy that on its own, it'd probably be, you know, $15 on its own. So yeah, you just have to sort of add this up, like what value are you actually getting. This is what I do, because like I said before, because I run a shop, I kind of just sort of think of how much would this cost, how much would that cost. So the enclosure isn't painted. I don't know if perhaps that's because this is a sample, or if they're just not painted. You know, they're not ever painted. They don't come painted. It's not the end of the world, because the sticker's going over the front anyway, and it doesn't really take much effort just to add a coat of paint if you do actually want to. If you do want a coloured enclosure, I'm thinking I might powder coat mine, and I'm doing that purely because I think this project's so good that I'd actually want to go to the extra effort of actually having a painted enclosure. And it could be something maybe that that Glenn wants to think about doing with these. It's just, you know, my personal opinion, but I think maybe I mean, because it's come to this point where everything is just so well made, you know, like the last thing it needs is just paint, just to finish the aesthetic look on it. So I don't know, maybe maybe he will take the advice on, you know, but like I said, it's not that hard just to add your own paint anyway. You can add your own colour that way as well. I'm thinking, like, for some reason I'm thinking in my head, and I don't actually have this colour in powder coat, but it would be pretty cool, like a beige colour underneath, you know, or like maybe a grey or something like that. Would look pretty good. I haven't got that, I've only got white, so I'll probably end up just powder coating it white. So how's that enclosure? Non-standard, look at that. That looks like it's been made for the purpose. This, you know, like the actual aluminium is, you know, been bent and shaped for the actual project. Reminds me a little bit of Strymon enclosures. Actually, I'll show you. Well, you know, a little bit anyway. So that's been anodized, I think, or it could have been powder coated. But yeah, this is sort of similar sort of shape like that, and but the screws are on the bottom with the Strymon. screws are on the side with this one. Just how it sort of fits together like that, two pieces of aluminium or steel or whatever it is that's been bent into shape for the actual project. So you can see you get everything in with the pedal, with the kit, sorry, the knobs and everything. I have to actually start putting them together before I can actually, you know, like make any sort of, I don't know, commentary on actually what the quality of the components and all that sort of stuff. But it all looks pretty good, you know, like it all looks pretty. It's very complete. It's got everything you need for the actual to assemble the actual effect. So it's quite exciting. I'm actually quite excited to put this one together. I have to do it when the kids are asleep because it's going to take a little bit of time. But you know, I mean, with that said, it's just a soldering job really. All you got to do is just solder everything on. I don't think there's going to be much wire. You know, you got the two little wires that come to the momentary switches. Are they momentary? Let's have a look. It has a relay on board as well, so it's got relay bypass too. Yeah, momentary. See, it doesn't latch. So this sort of switch, you know, you've got sort of like on the plunger, it comes down. These two little connectors, if you can imagine those running up on the inside, plunger comes down and it's got just a piece of metal, and when it hits the bottom, when it travels to the bottom, it will short the two out. So that's just sends a signal to a relay or a microprocessor of some sort, and that's how, you know, a momentary switch works. When it latches, that's the ones where you hear the click. When you push it down, it goes click. You're actually pushing like a lever that goes up and down like that. So that's the difference between momentary and latched. So yeah, so that's really what I wanted to talk about. Just a quick overview of what you actually get with the kit. So like I said before, the next video is going to be the actual assembled effect, and I'll just keep some notes and tell you how I went with it. I might do a bit of a time lapse as well, just assembling it. Of course, hearing it, because it's got lots of cool variables, I suppose you'd call them. Very versatile tremolo. I don't think I've seen a do-it-yourself tremolo with this many options. So yeah, it should be interesting to hear it in action as well. So I think I forgot to say, but yeah, everything's PCB mounted. They're the input and output, and the DC is PCB mounted. So it's kind of like a commercial sort of commercial in its look, and you can actually buy the effect pre-made as well from Glenn as well. He's got it pre-made, or he's got it in a kit, and so you can choose if you're not very good with pedals, you can just buy it straight from him and not have to worry about assembling it as well. But yeah, really well engineered kit. Very impressed actually. It's part of the reason why I wanted to get one. Whoops, nearly dropped the enclosure. It's part of the reason why I wanted to get one, because I just wanted to actually see it in the flesh, and yeah, it's great. So that's it. So that's the Quaverato Zeppelin Design Labs. Look up Zeppelin Design Labs, you'll find his website. Next video will be the build report and sound demo, and I'll just keep some notes and let you know how I went with actually assembling it. Was it difficult? Was it easy? What challenges, etc., etc. I hope you enjoyed the overview. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more. Cheers.